My name is Artist Knox, and I started working SAG when I was I think like 14 years old in 1996. I got my first Screen Actors Guild job for a commercial. I won't say what company, but the residuals from that helped me to sustain myself for goodness quite a few years. And looking now as things transition forward and being a part of the Screen Actors Guild, goodness, for over 20 years, I'm starting to see how the corporations and the production companies are starting to make alliances to where actors aren't able to make a sustainable living. Even now, projects now that have paid back when I was younger a substantial amount of money now limit the scope, limit how much revenue you get and the time you get that revenue, to the fact that the corporations still make money because they can show your image in different markets, but then you don't get paid. And I personally suffered from this because I was the first African American to have his own television show on Animal Planet. I had two television shows. The first one was a reality show called Groomer Has It. I won Groomer of the Year, won all this kind of money, all these things. And then the second one where Discovery Channel had approached me, flew me out to New York and did these business discussions to get me to do my own show called Beverly Hills Groomer. Now the agreement was for Beverly Hills Groomer that they would only show it domestically. And my entertainment attorney at the time had told me they're only going to show it once domestically. They claimed that it was a non-union project, but actually it was a union project, and that was hidden from me. So my own show, what I was the star of, was an actual union project, but they paid me non-union because they said that reality TV is separate than the union contract, but that was a lie. However, fast forward some time later, after they showed my show initially in the United States, I started getting emails from all over the world where people were saying, they want me to come to their country and do a show, do some interviews. I got calls from Hong Kong, from Europe, from Siberia, all these places where people wanted me to come in. I'm asking them, how did you hear about me? And I said, no, they're showing your show on our local network. So I was like, okay. So they started showing my show in multiple markets, which we know is called syndication. So they syndicated my show, made millions of dollars from my show, and I only got paid once, not a residual, but once, less than what an average person would make in a year. That's what Animal Planet paid me while lying to me, saying that my show would not be showed. So I'm personally affected by the rules and the regulations and the disagreements of the strike, where people want to know, and actors want to know, hey, how are we going to get paid? How is this going to be sustainable? How does this translate to me having a viable income and a career that will sustain me years to come, when the corporations and these advertisers and production companies are still making money off these projects? Lo and behold, me, the person who is the actual face of the product, is living in poverty. So these are the issues that actors have. How are you going to support us? How are you going to help us sustain ourselves? And if you look at it from an aspect of just practical application, if a corporation is paying me to advertise a product using my face and using it in perpetuity without paying me in perpetuity, so my face is all over the globe on your product and you're making millions and billions of dollars off of it, but then me, I get nothing. I get nothing but someone saying, hey, I saw your face. That's not enough. I don't want to get paid in attention. I want to get paid in revenue. My family wants to get paid in revenue, because revenue is what sustains us, which sustains the corporations, which sustains production companies. So what actors are saying is, we want to be a part of the loop. We're not saying we want to be greedy. We're not saying we don't want more than what we deserve. We want to say that we want a just wage for just work, and we want it in perpetuity, just like you make money off of it in perpetuity. And I think it's only fair. It's only fair.
Hi, my name is Roman Zenz, and I just wanted to talk briefly about the writer's strike, and now also the actor strike. The actors joined in the writer's strike.
Okay.
So my husband is a writer as well as an actor, so he's in both unions that are affected by the strike right now. So he's in SAG, AFTRA, and also in the WGA, and he was supposed to be back on a show for Nickelodeon as an actor a couple of weeks ago, and that got canceled, even though it was supposed to be filming in New Mexico, and it's a right to work state, so they don't have the union regulations, but still they didn't feel comfortable crossing picket lines, and so they didn't continue filming. So as of now, he's picketing here a lot and not working, so no money is coming in. So I'm bringing home the bacon, which is not with my university job for the both of us. It's I mean, we're in a comfortable position, but lots of other people around us are not. And I feel for them. You know, it's a big sacrifice to ask for people to, you know, go on strike and not have any income. You know, and that's what the producers are banking on. They're just seeing how long they can hold out the actors. And there was, they did an article, the head of the producers union or association, and he said, we'll just do this as long as we have to until every writer loses their house and their apartment, and then come back to the negotiation table. So they're like really digging in their heels, but so is SAG-AFTRA and WGA. I feel it could go on for a long time. Some people are saying until the end of the year. But I think it's very important, and this is just the beginning of basically AI coming for people's jobs, and this is gonna affect every other industry down the line, and they just happen to be first. So they're not only striking for the writers and the actors, they're striking for all of us. And you know, standing up to corporations is super important. They can't just like push us around. And you know, it's really important to take a stand, I feel, and I'm happy to, you know, support however I can.
Hi, so my name's Kat. I'm a professional working actor out here in Los Angeles. I am a member of SAG, so the strike has affected me. I recently was booked for an independent film, so that production has had to stall at the moment. Apparently they do have these waivers that productions can submit to SAG-AFTRA if they're not funded by one of the bigger companies like Sony or Netflix or something like that. So I'm waiting to hear back about that waiver, which means we possibly could go into production, but unsure at this time. So basically how the strike has affected me is, one, obviously can't work, so no money's going to come in anytime soon. And also auditions, we can't go out on auditions right now. Any kind of promotional work for stuff that we may have been in is prohibited at this time as well. Yeah, in terms of why the strike is needed, it's very much because residuals have been getting smaller and smaller each year. I've been seeing it, and other people that I know have been seeing it, and it's due to the streaming. Because how it would work on network TV is that we would get our residuals every time it aired. And I guess from what I understand, how it works on streaming is that it's more just based on how many members that they have for that particular streaming site. So the residuals start to get less and less. Like, I've gotten residual paychecks for like $5, you know. And so it's kind of crazy how drastically that's changed. Whereas I used to get residuals, I could get up to a couple $100. I would just see in the mail coming in. Yeah, and then in terms of artificial intelligence, I personally haven't come across that issue yet, but for sure that is a concern, because the image is definitely something we have to protect. It's part of sort of the package we market, and we don't want to be giving our rights over for free. You know, that's our product, basically, that we're selling to these productions, and we have to make sure our product is protected and that we have full rights to that product. As soon as we give up those rights, pretty much the production companies can do whatever they want with our image, with our personhood, and we become obsolete. So